All right, guys, welcome back to another video. I wanted to get my boy Jeremy Degg on this one and kind of just talk about our journey together as a partnership and talk about how I've been his acquisition manager and how we were able to scale to $73,000 in a single month at our peak. So, first things first, Jeremy, I kind of want to just this whole video, I just want to ask you some questions, man, kind of get your opinion on the importance of acquisition managers in online coaching businesses. But
Yeah.
I guess my first question is for you, like what was your business like before you had an acquisition manager?
Yeah. So one thing I want to mention too is like when we did 73K in a month, it was just me and Zach. Like I didn't have a CSM. I was managing 40 clients in a month, somewhere like 35, 50, 45, somewhere around there. And the service delivery was amazing. I was like, wait, I don't need a CSM. I pretty much just need someone to help me with acquisition, with the seat like an acquisition manager, which is what me and Zach did. And like having an acquisition manager just blew up my business from like I think it was like 14, 15K to 73K a month in like a matter of like what 4, 5 months.
I want to say 5 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like somewhere on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just me and Zach the whole entire time. And that just like profit margin so good for the both of us. And it just made the dynamic of like, having someone that you can work with almost as like a business partnership just way more enjoyable because it's no longer like, geez, like, I have to like provide and do this and just like I'm gonna hop on this call with a person I don't even know. Obviously, like in the beginning, you're gonna have to hire people and like kind of get to know them. But like it was just like pure synergy. Like me and Zach would just like hang out on, like in a different stage, just like work on the offer together. So it's a way better dynamic. And that's why I just like acquisition managers because like it's not just like some random setter that you just hire on Fiverr or whatever.
I think one of the main questions that I get is what is the difference between a setter and an acquisition manager? And my
Uh-huh.
answer usually goes in, this is basically my answer every time. Everything an appointment setter does, but more. So I see, and I know you do too. You've probably seen it way more than I have. You've been in the game a little longer. I see way too many incompetent appointment setters. They simply just suck at what they do. They don't know what they're doing. They're undertrained. They don't work long hours. They're not capable of putting on another hat in the business to actually move the needle forward within the business. And I think that was the key point that allowed us to scale so well is that I was trained well enough and I was dedicated to learn enough to where I can take over multiple things going on in the business at once.
Yeah.
Because you and I, we both see way too many coaching businesses at, I don't know, let's say 40, $50,000 a month where they have five employees. Way
Dude,
too
it's
much overhead. Way too
so
much
much
overhead
profit
for such a
margins.
small business. Yeah, profit margins. So
Yeah.
like, the way I think about it, and you do too, is like, why would you have five people on your team when you really only need one solid acquisition manager that's
Dude,
trained?
100%.
Well? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because like yeah, the profit margin were so good. I think we are at like 75% profit margins at that time. And I was just spending money on ads and the team member and just yeah, we're just ramping up together. And yeah, like with DM setters, like I don't know if people watching this have experiences, but I've been at a point where like I hopped on like 40 interviews with DM setters, hired three of them, and the dynamic was always just kind of weird because like they were very like short-term thinking, like they don't really know the game of like business and everything. So it's like it's harder to have those high level conversations with them. And yeah, like with an acquisition manager, like it's more like long term thinking because one, they know the internals of the business, so they know that things take time, which helps both of you guys make more money. Alongside that too, like the reason why it's long term is it funnels into like your own coaching offer if you wanted to. Like for example, Zach is managing my acquisition manager and he's crushing it. He's booking like a lot of calls this week already and we haven't even ramped up ad spend, which is the best part. So like the dynamic is really cool. It's more long-term vision thinking, which equates to like obviously more money long term. But when you do things like slow, you do things fast because you're doing the right things. So if like two people are doing that, like bro, it's like a game changer.
exactly. Yeah, and it just comes down to having the right mentor as an acquisition manager, somebody in your corner that wants to see you grow and succeed, and not just stay stagnant at the beginning point of like an appointment center, right? I mean. Jeremy, what do you feel like is kind of go into detail about the roles that I was taking on in the business that a traditional appointment setter usually doesn't do. Like, name some of the things that stood out to you that were like, wow, this is taking a lot of stress off my plate right now. It's awesome.
So the first thing was like everything acquisition. So obviously like the DMs that I get when it comes to booking people in, the inbound DMs and the warm outbound-ish DMs too when it comes to like follows and everything. But even like everything with the automation, like Zach was managing the Zapier, he was managing the Go High Level CRM, managing the Slack channel too. Also alongside tracking the numbers, like obviously DM servers have to track numbers. That's like a regular EOD. But it was way more intensive because he was tracking like the client revenue. He was tracking like when the next payment was for recurring revenue. So like there'd be some days where I'll be like, missing out on like, dang, like, is this client gonna pay or when is this client paying? And Zach's like, hey, dude, build this person. I'm like, oh, sick. I just made like 5 grand today. I remember that. It was sick.
Yeah,
Um,
literally.
and I wouldn't have known that because like I'm so busy just like, making content, managing my clients, managing my life, blah, blah, blah. And having someone like in your corner, like in your business to like do the nitty gritty. Cause I'm very like, I'm not very technical. I'm not very like numbers based, but having an acquisition manager that really like dials in on that, like hours and hours in a day, just like makes things, yeah, like tremendous because they're just saying like you have 24 hours in a day. That's correct. But like, if you look at like those giant, celebrities, they have like assistants, they have, like just a whole lot of people, like different employees that are working hours and hours in that day for them. So like they don't only have 24 hours, they have like 150 hours because they have so many people work for them. So if you have an acquisition manager, like it's the same exact thing because you like they do that stuff for you. So like you have way more hours to just make content, make more ads, and just be creative, like and be in your own flow state. So
Yeah,
like having a DM setter that doesn't really know how to do that, like you have to like micromanage them, which I hate doing because like I have to micromanage myself. So I don't want to do that for someone else.
yeah, literally. It's simple. I mean, acquisition manager has the word manager in the title. Like you're taking on a bigger role in the business. I
Yeah.
mean, it ultimately allows you guys to grow faster, allows us as the acquisition managers to make a little bit more money than a traditional appointment setter. We're simply doing more, right? And then it even got to a point where I was hosting calls with your clients, like helping out on the client
Right.
success.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that.
Like there's so much growth in the business that's just available once you learn how to learn more skills, learn how to do more things, and like really just drive the business in the right direction. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool dynamic. I mean,
Those
I don't know how you.
automations, managing even some stuff with ads, like ad tracking, everything acquisition based. So calling the leads, messaging the leads, booking the leads in, warming up the leads, some client fulfillment too. So like managing the Slack channel with that and hopping on group calls with them. So like your acquisition is taken care of, but also like your backend systems are taken care of. And then even like your client fulfillment is taken care of.
Mhm.
And when you do it that way, you're setting up yourself to where like when you want to run your own business, you can. And like I don't think any other business and or any other like, type of role can help you do that,
Yeah,
especially in this industry.
for sure. Yeah, I think you really don't need to hire anyone else besides an acquisition manager until like well, honestly, after 90 to $100,000 a
Yeah.
month. For anyone watching out there, if you know anyone that has a coaching business that's at like 30, 40, 50, even 60,000 right now, if they have like a VA, a CSM, a closer, a setter, like, oh my gosh,
Dude, you don't need that.
that hurts my brain
Like,
like, thinking about it because it gets to the point where all the people that are working, that closer, that setter, that CSM, they're just maybe making like 1 to 2K a month out of that 60K because there's just so much overhead when you could have one person actually making like a good full-time income. And it's
yeah.
just so much more tight knit. Like Jeremy, how many times have we met up in person and just had awesome weekends, like gone out, had great times? Like we're best friends now. We're great friends. It's
For
just
sure, bro.
yeah, it just brings a lot more brings a lot.
It's way more enjoying because like when you enjoy the business and you have someone to enjoy it with, like your content is better because like people choose coaches based on like the energy. So like if you're able to do that for the coach, he's able to make better ads, which makes more profit, which helps the both of you, so like it's a whole like flywheel effect. And it all starts with the acquisition manager because like some people might think like, okay, I don't really know if I should be an acquisition manager. Like, they probably just need a closer. Like, they can just hire a DM setter. Like that's the point because they don't need that. They just need an all-in-one person.
Yeah,
Like people don't just hire me for like ads. They hire me for offer creation, sales, client fulfillment, and ads too, and also just like the one-to-one support. So it's like the same thing, but for a coaching program. So like you're not a coach for them, but like you're managing, their business at the same time.
Yeah, literally. I think a cool thing that you said was when you or I texted you one day and I was like, dude, we have like three recurring payments today. Like bill this guy, this guy, this guy. And Jeremy's like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that we have like payments due today. And he's like four buttons on his phone, he collects $5,000.
Yeah.
And obviously that makes me more money, that makes Jeremy more money, makes everyone more happy. And it's simply because like you wake up, you have, I don't know, five one-on-ones with your clients because that's the priority, of course. Then you have four sales calls trying to enroll new clients. Like you just don't have time to
Plus
check,
content.
yeah, check on the recurring payments or check on, you just don't have time for much stuff. And yeah,
Track numbers,
plus content.
everything.
There's just so much moving stuff in place as a business owner. Like you need somebody who's competent enough to take a lot of the stress off you, not just the DM appointment setter who's like, of course they help, but when they're just capped and they don't want to learn and they don't have the training behind it to actually grow, I mean, it's just like it almost gets like you said, you're just micromanaging it, and it's just like it's a pain.
Yeah. Dude, yeah. Like, and also I was talking to my good friend Jaden. He made 5 grand in a month as a total beginner, like in maybe like 2 months after starting his acquisition managing journey, like becoming one. And I was talking to him, and a lot of it was like, like him being a beginner and starting at complete zero. Like this guy's just like he was just in college, he played college baseball. And now he's like full-time acquisition managing. But a lot of it's like, what if I don't have the skill sets to become an acquisition manager? It's too high level. But like Jaden was a complete beginner, and like you get equipped with the skill sets. Obviously, if you get a good mentor and everything, to get to become an acquisition manager. But like, yeah, the skill sets are very simple, and you can just acquire them like any business or just anything that you do. You have to start from zero. You know?
Yeah, it really is the best way to get into the online money or online sales. It's like I've told people this many times. I call it like the gateway drug of like online money. Like it's like once you do it a little bit and you like see that like, oh wow, there's a lot of money out there. This stuff is really possible. It's like the easiest way to get into it because it's so beginner friendly. Like
Yeah.
you want to try to be a closer. No one's gonna hire you as somebody who's never even taken a sales call, let alone booked one in for a closer. You have no experience. You're just not gonna get hired. Simple.
Dude, like
But
as a coach, like,
sorry.
being a client avatar with that, like if someone were to message me like, hey, dude, do you need a setter? I'm like, no. But if someone were to message me and be like, hey, dude, I can manage this, and that, it goes above and beyond. Because yes, this is like a very beginner friendly thing, but this is for like high level people, like just in general. These aren't for like just random people that want like some type of like super quick cash type of thing. Like you're building something with somebody, like an actual business. It's kind of like the aspect of the growth operator, at that point, which is really cool.
Yeah, literally. You're learning skills that all those growth operators learn too. But
Yeah.
they
And
don't,
if you want to do growth operating, you can do
yeah,
growth operating.
they're not good at the sales side either. They just learn all the operations. Then they ask for 30% of your business.
Dude, that's so true.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to have one and it didn't go well. So
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I think we touched on pretty much all the main points. It's been a wild ride, brother. It's been a pleasure.
so fun.
And I mean, if I have one piece of advice to everybody out there trying to make money online is like you need to take action, right? You need to take action and actually like do something that will allow you to make a lot of money online. And two, you need to like find the right vehicle because you can work hard, but if you work hard on the wrong things, nothing really good is going to come out of it. So those two things you really need to make sure that they're in check. You're taking action and you have the right vehicle, right? And sales online is, in my opinion, for somebody who's new and trying to make money online, probably the best.
Yeah, just like soak up as much knowledge you can about, becoming one. Zach, I'm pretty sure you have like a ton of YouTube videos. So like, yeah, just soak up tons of content. Um, and once you do, like when you're ready to go for it, just like, yeah, just take rigorous action on that thing. Like don't get sidetracked and think you need to do a different offer. I've been, sidetracked with like, okay, should I do coaching? Should I do 3 different offers? But I've always found that simplicity scales and complexity fails. One offer, one team member, one funnel, one channel. Super simple. So that's one piece of advice. Just soak up as much content or soak up as much value and just, yeah,
Seek
take action.
information, learn from people who are where you want to be, And yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. If you're gonna do something, stick with it. You can't be jumping to the next shiny object and like, well, the next big thing, this AI agency stuff, like you can't jump on that and then in 3 months jump on the next big thing. You got to stick with something, get good at it, provide real value. But yeah, any last words?
No, it's pretty much it, dude. It's been, yeah, like you said, an amazing ride. So yeah, back to even what you said, like you don't get into online business by like, doing by starting like a real estate business when you're like 50 grand in debt. Like you start off with like this role fully into business and then you manage more things. So take action, get after it, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you got to build that base of that pyramid, right? You got to, the wider the base, the taller the pyramid can go, right?
Like, dude.
Heard someone say that the other day. It's couldn't be more true. You got to stack those skills. But
Hmm.
yeah, guys, my DMs on Instagram will be open. If you have any questions about this, I'll be responsive, answer you guys quick, answer any questions there. And then in the description of this video right here, there'll be a link where you guys can click on. There's going to be another video where there's going to be a ton more information that walks you through what it actually is like to be an acquisition manager, and then another link there where you can book a call with me to map out your custom roadmap and we can get you going. I'm super excited for this, and yeah, appreciate it, Jeremy.
Got you, dude.
Yes, sir. All right. See ya.
Fire.